It is Monday, May 17th, 2021. This week, Mostly Madness Championship is announced. Big news out of WarnerMedia and a look at what came to streaming services this month. We watched Dark Side of the Ring, the OG XMen cartoon, the whole 9 yards, and for the meat, we retell, review, and rate the 2018 MCU film, Ant-Man and the Wasp. All this and so much more. That's the Giggler. That's PC Mike. I'm Logan. This is Mostly Superheroes. Hello and welcome to Mostly Superheroes, a weekly pursuit for the world's best stories with an emphasis on live-action superhero stuff. I'm your host, Logan. Welcome back for another week. We have PC Mike and the Giggler. Giggler, welcome back. How are you?
I am spectacular. Another great weekend in the books. Another great episode about to be in the books. All the above.
Did you just have another epic Sunday? Did you have like a nice relaxing time, or was this one of your? I know it usually goes one of two ways with you. You either go like we're out and about all day, hitting up a few different bars, trying some places, or it's like ultimate relaxation mode. What we have this week?
Well, see, we have this thing called Pizza Shit Sunday, where we just act like
piece of shit Sunday.
It kind of supposed to be both, like pizza and pizza, because like
words.
we just don't leave our couches. We order pizza, all that stuff. I mean, the shit part kind of speaks for itself, but it was definitely on that route today. Yesterday, sorry.
Yeah,
we had our going away party for my roommate. He's moving to Taiwan.
Yes. You've been
sometime soon.
When we get to, and if you're a Patreon subscriber, this has been a move we've been hearing about for a while. But it's it sounds like you guys at the going away party.
Very sad just to see him go, but he's going to go be a teacher. And we had going away party, and all the food came back to our house, and there's just a mountain of meat in our refrigerator.
This like Arby's,
like this.
We have the meat.
This cookie cake that's literally like this big, and we just housed it all yesterday. So.
Yeah,
it was bad.
And you obviously watched some stuff, obviously, that we're going to hear about today.
Yes, we watched a lot of Yellowstone. Once I finish that, I'm going to go give a nice full review and rating because it's a good one.
Yeah, that one wasn't even on your main list, so we're going to hear more about that. PC Mike, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the studio. My friend, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
Weekend was great. Mask off.
Yeah,
as of Friday.
Wow, mask is off as of Friday per your timeline on the vaccine.
I still wore mine into the gas station today.
Well,
that felt weird.
I think I saw it.
Odd.
I think I saw it best on SNL this past weekend. It was like Weekend Update said, "Mask off," except for pretty much everywhere.
Yeah,
I
wore it in. The workers had one on, so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
So I wore it. It's not hard to wear it in and out. But.
We're in a transition phase. I feel like it's like if you're not wearing the mask, there's still like businesses that might want you to just for a comfort level.
Yeah, it does feel good that we are getting to that point.
Yeah,
summer's right around the corner. Patios, bars. It'll be nice to, if I have some cocktails and then wander to the bathroom and forget my mask, it's not a big deal because I don't have to have one. So
yeah,
it'll be good.
Here we go. It's happening. It's the first time it's been in the news of like, you know what? You might not actually have to wear this thing. Mm-hmm. It's getting exciting. And I mean, you're just excited because it's summertime and you're a teacher too.
No, I'll miss everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Counting the down to the half days of how many days you have left.
Of course, you'll miss everyone. You'll miss the students. But hey, you're getting that summer break coming. That's like that whole thing about teacher envy, man.
That's why you grind. That's why we're grinding right now.
That's right, the part-time gig. All right, let's grind, let's earn it, and let's talk about the fans.
Fan mail.
Fan mail. We got a couple things. First up, it's our first ever apology to the fans.
Whoa.
Yeah, I messed up, guys. For our diehard fans that understand our schedule and look forward to our weekly newsletter we call Logan's Letter every Friday. It didn't come this past Friday. You're not crazy. It did not come to your inbox. here's the thing, guys. I'll always talk straight with you. Always talk straight to you two. Always talk straight to the listeners. I'm just going to be honest. This slipped through the cracks Friday. There are two sides, as you guys know, to this experiment that I'm doing right now, making our own podcast. And I also have some clients that I help grow their podcasts. There's two sides. But when I started this journey, I promised myself neither one can be having things slip through the cracks, especially not the show. And I just want to say I'm very sorry. It did not come, and because of that, you'll get an extra special Logan's letter coming this Friday. So you get that by subscribing to the newsletter and a Patreon. You know, this is where I feel real bad. You know, the people paying for this exclusive content. I want you guys to know it's a personal apology, and I mean it. But at the end of the day, it's also a fan letter for a superhero podcast, but I take it seriously. And I'm not going to lie, I was pretty disappointed in myself. Andy, did you notice that it didn't come?
I knew I had a gaping hole in my weekend that I didn't even realize. Just kidding.
You're like, I was wondering why I was in such a bad mood. But you've texted me before. You're like, hey, you're like, oh, whenever it's come. You're like, I was waiting for this to pop across. And I'm like, you know what? I see people opening this thing. People do watch it, but I want you to know you weren't crazy. We did miss one, though.
You're pretty on the ball, though, about 1 o'clock. It seems like it goes out on Fridays.
Yeah, it's always usually around, by lunchtime. This is one of those days where I actually had 3 meetings. You talk about getting out and about. These were like in-person meetings for the first time in a few weeks. It's like people are ready to be like, hey, let's grab a beer at this place and have a touch base. It's like, oh, man, that's getting cool. New to me in the mix of like, oh, I got to wear jeans today. But I promise you guys, it is back. Logan's letter isn't going anywhere, and we appreciate you guys understanding. I think we do because, we got good fans.
Yes, we do.
Had to throw that in there.
They're very understanding. None of them are mad at you. It's okay.
You don't think so? PC Mike's not really saying much. I feel like he's a little scorned. He's like, are we going to treat these listeners with respect, or are we going to just lie to their faces?
I'm actually on mostlysuperheroes.com looking at how great the Marvel Cinematic Universe looks on there.
Ooh, okay. I'll give it up for that. Yeah, maybe if you notice the newsletter didn't come, but you haven't been to the website, you'll see why we're so crazy over here. It does look pretty good, pretty fresh. Appreciate that, PC Mike.
It's clean.
Nice and clean. And we keep it pretty updated for you, too. Nice new stuff coming in. We're chopping up the clips. We're featuring them on the homepage. With that, let's talk about something that is featured on the website, mostlysuperheroes.com/mostly madness, our movie tournament that was started off in March Madness, and we're almost in June. So it's just really drawn out. We've learned a lot of things about this. We can probably expedite our process next year, get it down to a few weeks, kind of follow that schedule. But for now, we are in the final 2 of the championship game, if you will. Let's highlight some voters. This is from Instagram. We have Allison Vonderland, our friend Allison. Actually, Lucas. There's a typo in there. It's actually Lucas. Art House Garbage Media and Space_Kitten22. These are Instagram handles. Thank you guys for voting. And our weekly winner, we got a couple prizes left this week. Brandon R.
Oh, that guy.
This guy, he definitely got the prize this week. He has voted on, I think every single title so far on Instagram, on the website. Then he finally got his name drawn. So Brandon R. will get you.
He deserves it.
Oh yeah, he does.
Someday he'll be here with us to discuss something.
I think you're right. I think Brandon might be one of those folks that we get on the show.
What's his niche? What's he in?
He does love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but he's a pretty big film buff. Put it in some context. I think his favorite movie, or at least one of his top 5 favorite movies, are Kill Bill, the 2 Kill Bill films. Kind of gives you a sense of his taste. We might get him in here. Congratulations, Brandon. We are down to the final 2, guys. We were spot on. It is mostly superheroes, and we have 2 Titans going to battle. Avengers Endgame versus The Dark Knight. Giggler, I saw you doing the finger guns. What do you think here?
I love it. It's a beautiful Final 4.
It is pretty nice. And the final 2, like we said, mostly superheroes.
Oh, yeah. I knew it would be that.
Who do you got taking this thing?
Endgame.
I figured you'd say that.
I think you have, Mike, you have the same.
Well, let's
finals.
see. PC Mike.
Do I? I said The Dark Knight. I think it's the greatest superhero movie of all time. I don't think it's close.
Got 2 opposite ends here.
One won an Oscar. One didn't.
If Oscar's the standard, what are we talking about? At the end of the day, it's a personal choice, and it's tough. I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to have to pick Avengers Endgame because those 2 movies are 2 of the best things I've ever seen in my whole life overall. But The Dark Knight, a masterpiece, of course. But I would pick Endgame myself. But it's not up to us three. We actually are going to vote this thing out just like we got all the way through. I can't believe the bracket is filled, and it's all come down to this big game. I really don't know what's going to happen, though.
I agree. We could have anything.
Because here's the thing. Dark Knight beat Jurassic Park by, 80% of the votes. In-game beat Happy Gilmore by, 80% of the votes.
Yeah.
So I really don't have a full grasp on who's going to have more.
They're just juggernauts that I'm glad we're on separate sides of the bracket, because I didn't want Infinity War on one side and then Endgame on the other, because it just, in my opinion, they would have just made it to the finals and it would have been fun. But it's nice to get that matchup out of the way earlier, just to get something else in there for argument's sake.
Yeah. Do you have a prediction, PC Mike?
I think Avengers Endgame will win overall.
You
I think
think-
it's recent bias.
Well, recent bias, and also if you're talking about just bias from this show, we have talked mostly MCU so far. So you could argue that we are propelling it forward. So we'll see, though. It's up to you, listeners. Tell your friends, tell the fans. We're at mostlysuperheroes.com/Mostly Madness. We'll wrap this thing up next week and announce the big winner, our big grand finale, our last prize, and of course the top bracket. We will be doing a grand Mostly Superheroes prize. Get ready. It's all next week as we wrap it up. Let's do the news.
News and rumors.
All right, so news is, it's not tight because we actually are going to cover a big segment here in a minute. First up, out of comicbook.com, Jamie Lovett over there. This just came out this morning. AT&T's WarnerMedia and Discovery officially announce a merger. What does this mean? This is AT&T officially spinning off WarnerMedia, which will merge with Discovery to form a new media-focused company capable of competing with the Walt Disney Company, NBC Universal, and Netflix. This Discovery CEO, David Zaslav. He's coming in. He's going to head up this new company that's going to incorporate all of this content, all of these big, big company names. What's it mean to me? It just shows how strong the streaming wars are going and that no one is taking their foot off the gas. If anything, they're doubling down. Did you guys see this news? Do you have an opinion on this news? To me, it just means more mixing and matching and us being confused as consumers about where things live, probably.
I saw the headline, but I didn't read into it, and I wanted you to explain it to me like I'm 11 years old.
Well,
So is it? I can see there. We'll give CNN, TBS, TNT, HGTV, Food Network, Discovery Channel, Warner Brothers Pictures, Discovery Plus, and HBO Max a single corporate parent.
So that's big. That's HBO Max getting combined with everything you just listed, which they've already been doing this for a while.
And then also NBC, Universal, Netflix, the Walt Disney Company, or is that different?
I will cry.
Oh, competing with the Walt.
That's the competition. Walt Disney, NBC, Universal, and Netflix are the competition. So now you have CNN, TBS, TNT, HGTV, Food Network, Discovery Channel, Warner Brothers Pictures. So this can you'll see here also, and Discovery Plus and HBO Max are all coming together. And yeah, this will also dictate on our kind of side of the things the DC universe.
That's where the biggest part is, I think. A lot of DC fans are excited about it because it's just a change that might be needed. But
yeah, right.
I don't know how much that trickles down to them or what they should expect. But if this means I can, you said Food Network was on there, like if I can watch my Guy Fieri shows on the same platform as I watch my superhero DC shows, count me in.
Combining the best of both worlds.
Or a crossover with Guy Fieri and Justice League. I'm Guy Fieri. We're wilding out here with Aquaman, Batman, and Superman.
Oh, God.
We got
please.
Aquaman in the kitchen.
Fish sticks.
Please.
Well, I'm to me, it's hard. It's going to be more news coming out of this. Obviously, it's a big combination of things. We talk about it all the time on this show. It's hard to understand half the shit anyway about where it all lives, what companies are what.
I think it's a year from now, too. So I think it's a while, like 2022, I thought I saw.
So we're just now hearing about the initial deal. More to come. We'll keep you posted on how this will affect your streaming experience.
Hopefully it kind of condenses everything and kind of puts it.
Well, yeah, like you get it within a few, but then you're getting into, do you want a few big companies owning everything at the end of the day? Because we see what happens with that. Is it better to have independent shops and studios doing the work? I don't know. This is, again, the big experiment is especially with what's happening on Disney Plus with the MCU stuff. And we're going to, we're only two down. We're going to talk about that in the later half of the episode. So the last part of the news, special request, Giggler had a good idea. We did this back in March about what was coming in April. So now we're looking at what is coming or what has even come already in May to streaming services. So first of all, let me just say there are so many streaming services.
So many.
The moment I started going down this road, I was like, oh, this won't be hard. Okay, let's look at Netflix. Oh, Amazon Prime. Oh, HBO Max. Oh, Tubi. IMDb TV. They have a whole thing. They have their own streaming service now. Peacock. Paramount Plus. Discovery.
I mean, there's so many.
To where it's like you're almost... And then I started getting into like specific channels. Like A&E. The CW. And I was like, yeah, that's what it used to be. It's like we're trying to get a picture of like all TV coming out in a time when more TV is coming out than any time before us. I just want people to understand the ocean of content that is coming out every month. Anyway, just to say, set the stage, here's some to look at. Thanks to tvguide.com. Got the link in the bio. A great article. Someone worked very hard on putting this all together.
Megan Vick, it looks like.
Looks like Megan Vick over at TV Guide. Really appreciate it. This was May 7th, so super recent. We're going to blast through these because I have a screen for like almost all of them.
Perfect.
All right, Netflix. Call out what you see. Back to the Future. Again, guys, we're talking about what... This is May, so we're, if you're listening on Thursday, this is May 20th. This is everything that's come out so far, and then everything that's still coming out the rest of the time. But call them as you see them. We'll name a few and then go to the next
Two
one.
big things I want to watch that I have not yet. The Woman in the Window came out May 14th on Netflix with Amy Adams, kind of a thriller. And then, of course, I want to watch Army of the Dead with Dave Bautista. That is Zack Snyder's new film.
Yes, that one jumped out too. I did half watch the Woman in the Window yesterday, but I fell asleep. That's no dig on the movie. It was just Sunday, and we already talked about my Sunday, so I'm going to rewatch the full movie.
I also see all the Back to the Futures. I saw those popping up recently on Netflix. Land Before Time 1 and 2.
I mean, do you want to cry and have a miserable day?
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of highlights in the movie. I haven't seen it in a long time though. When's the last time you saw Land Before Time?
I couldn't tell you.
The dinosaur movies?
Yeah, like Littlefoot.
Littlefoot, Petrie.
Sarah.
Yikes.
Isn't there like a Diego?
I mean, there's
the Pietro
and then I think
Petrie.
And then I think there's like 1,000 Land Before Times too.
Yeah, there ended up being way too many. And then it's in my what you watching. I've just started it. So Jupiter Legacy, that's on there. Superhero show, of course.
Lucifer. Is it a movie or show?
It's a TV show.
Okay.
Lucifer, I think this show's actually coming back. This was one of those shows that moved to Netflix, and I think they're doing like a final season.
Do you remember when we were talking about how big The Boys was, like on their streaming service, like overall?
Yes.
Lucifer was like #1 overall of all streaming almost.
When was that?
When The Boys was coming, when all The Boys episodes, season 2 was coming out, Lucifer was like top 3 every single week.
Well, and it makes sense because I think it must have been not long after that the big announcement came that there's going to be, I guess, at least one more season where I think this has been one of those shows that obviously it was like on Fox originally, came to Netflix, struggled, but now it's blown up again.
Master of None? Is that the Aziz Ansari?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's coming back?
I really like that show. I liked that first season.
It's a decent
I think
lineup
there's a
here.
secret. I think there was already a
I think maybe a season 2, yeah.
I thought so too. Army of the Dead, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, whatever that is.
I think it's a cartoon for like kids.
They have like Lego Jurassic World cartoons now that
the whole 9 yards. We'll talk about that. Zach and Miri make a porno. Remember that movie?
Hilarious.
Zombieland. So this is Netflix. All right, let's
it's going to be Master of None season 3.
All right, let's look at Hulu. This is getting a little smaller for your guys' eyes. Do you guys have good vision?
No.
I can't see any of that.
What? Okay. Well, you guys can look at the big
see
ones.
the right ones.
You can look at the big ones. We're looking at Hulu here. I'll read a few of these, the ones that stick out to us. There's a bunch of titles. True Lies. Vampire in Brooklyn. Wall Street.
Nice.
It's coming. The Outsider. I don't know if you guys... That's the 1980 version of The Outsider. Any Given Sunday.
It's The Outsiders, right?
Is it, oh, yeah.
The book.
It says The Outsider, singular, 1990. Actually, 1980. 1980, just singular. I see it. Oh, look, Zach and Miri make a porno.
See, this happened last time.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of crossover.
Yeah, they're always just on everything.
Hey, Warrior, we just talked about this Saturday night with some friends. You guys remember that movie?
Yeah.
Tom Hardy.
Look at Andy. He's zooming. Look at that. That's next level. He's using his phone to
So
zoom
he's using
in.
the phone to zoom into the screen. Oh, my. Is it actually working?
It works
You're probably shaking.
so good. It works so good. It's ridiculous.
I'll say this though, Hulu's my least favorite streaming service. I think.
I hear you too. I'm with you. But here's a title for you: The Iron Giant.
Vin Diesel.
Oh my God,
He's the voice of the Iron Giant.
I'd pat
That's
myself
right.
on the
You've
back
said that.
right now
Have you said that before? On
Yeah.
here?
if I could, but this requires 2 hands to zoom in.
Go ahead. Oh, the Zoom is really working.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't read a single title though.
Oh well, Supernova. It's on there.
The
But it's-
A-Team?
It's just Hulu.
2010 A-Team with
I'm-
Bradley Cooper, Liam Neeson.
Not a huge Hulu guy.
Rampage Jackson.
Does anyone agree that Hulu is usually the last place you look for if you're trying to find
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, we're just helping people out here. It's,
Oh,
not,
yeah.
it's not
No,
just
I-
about us, Giggler.
I agree. You're right. You're right.
All right, Prime Video. Looks like a lot of the aliens have arrived. Alien Resurrection, Alien 3, Aliens, Almost Famous.
Almost Famous is awesome.
Great movie. Angels and Demons. We tried the Da Vinci Code a few weeks ago. We couldn't even get through it.
I mean, I like the Da Vinci Code. I like the story behind it, but I don't know about the film.
I thought I did, but you might need to watch it again and see. The Sweetest Thing. This is we're talking about Amazon Prime Video right now. Seeing, it's always the Da Vinci Code. It's on there.
Yeah.
The Haunting in Connecticut 2, Lady Killers.
We could watch The Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet. Is that DC?
I'll look.
I think that was the Seth Rogen movie,
Yeah.
I believe.
I think
Green
it
Hornet.
is. I think it is.
We also have the Underground Railroad coming to Amazon Prime Video. Looks like a limited series.
Red Dawn. Doesn't that have Chris Hemsworth? I believe.
Okay.
I'll look that up.
That's our guy.
Or the-
The Underground Railroad's, I think, from a novel.
Oh, here's
Somebody
some.
told me.
Here's some that our fans might appreciate: Resident Evil, Apocalypse, Resident Evil 2002, Shattered.
I was correct, but that movie only got a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. So beware if you're
What is it?
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Also, it's on the shelf here. I think that's right here. Unbreakable with Bruce Willis. That's on Prime Video now.
Those aren't bad. I watched those when they created the Glass and the Split.
Yeah, so
it's those movies,
Yeah, so it's Unbreakable and then Split, right?
and then Glass, right?
And then Glass.
Yeah. That was a decent
I love
trilogy.
those.
Yeah.
I don't think The Green Hornet's DC.
I don't know
what
what
it was
is.
for some reason.
The franchise is owned by Green Hornet Inc.
Maybe that's just their own,
Yeah.
their main title. Okay, let's look at.
Dynamite Entertainment.
We might have to watch it though, because it is a
Mm-hmm.
superhero flick. Disney Plus. This is one of our big boys. Let's see what we got coming here in May. We got Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Is this something that's catching your eye, Andy? Are you going to watch this animated series? I basically have been told by fans that it's the Clone Wars continued,
That's kind of what I heard too.
That's
like the
about right,
Clone
too.
Wars show, like season 9, because there were 8 seasons of that.
I've heard it's not fully a continuation of it. Supposedly you can still enjoy it by not having seen
Okay.
Clone Wars. There's little references and offshoots from things that happened in Clone Wars, but it still would be enjoyable for guys like us, I think, that have not seen those, or maybe somebody out there like you that's listening, whoever you are.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this. The Star Wars cartoons isn't something we've been tapping into yet, but it doesn't mean we
Yeah.
never will.
I think the big one here is Cruella.
Yeah, we got that's the Emma Stone
Mhm.
Cruella DeVille, which is simply titled Cruella, and
It's like a prequel.
Prequel everyone's been asking for.
Yeah.
right, like a young version of this dog murderer.
Kill these puppies. Yeah.
Yeah, let's skin all these pups, 101 of them, and it's gonna be in theaters. When's that coming out?
May 28th.
May 28th.
Ah.
So, you guys gonna see that?
I'll watch it when it's free on Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
I'm getting so spoiled. I'm not gonna lie. It's really nice. Like Mortal Kombat. Would I have paid to watch that in the theaters? No. Would I
Looks,
watch it? Yes.
looks like we have more of the Mighty Ducks, the series, the Game Changers show. Have you guys given this a shot yet?
I have not.
Nice.
There's
I'm
the-
gonna for sure. I'm letting it kind of fill up first.
I don't even know if
I've
I'll
heard-
ever watch it.
I've heard good.
I-
I've heard good things that it's watchable.
Well,
I don't know if that's how.
that's not the
how
most
much are they-
raving review.
I know.
If it's on in the background, you're doing something else.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's basically telling someone that this is garbage, and I just have my TV on for background noise.
Yeah.
High School Musical, the series. This is still happening. They're on season 2. It looks like so more of that this month. Inside Pixar Unpacked.
It feels like Disney Plus is just kind of killing time until Loki comes out, if I'm being honest, after seeing this.
Well, they also have Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
God, you're a Silver Surfer guy.
I mean, I like those. I mean, I know that they're a mess, and they're kind of like they're so corny. But those Fantastic Four movies, like
They're okay.
they're okay, but they don't.
They're watchable.
Yeah, they're watchable.
They're watchable.
That's our new rating. It's unwatchable or watchable. It's either a 0 or a 1 rating.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah.
Simplifies everything.
I would
for
still
us.
put those on like at least a 2.0 because like you'll catch me just watching it every like 5 or 6
And
years.
Jessica Alba's in it, so
Yeah, Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Early Chris Evans. You're right. It seems like it's kind of on hiatus until the big June drop of Loki, which of course we'll be watching week by week. All right, HBO Max.
Whew.
Yeah, a lot of titles. We're sharing all the images, of course, from the TV Guide article. Again, the link's in our description. And if you're like Andy and Mike and you can't read this stuff, you definitely got to be on a big screen if you're watching this right now.
do.
If you're on Instagram, there's no shot.
Or take a screenshot and zoom in like a big brain.
Like a genius. 17 again. That's that Zac Efron movie, Matthew Perry. Dumb and Dumber coming to HBO Max this month. The Dirty Dozen.
West Side Story, because the new West Side Story remake's coming out.
Yeah, there's a new West Side Story coming. That's right.
Steven Spielberg.
So you got the OG one on here. You got Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, When Harry Met Sally. You also have The Kingdom, The Immigrant, Tenet, and the Rush Hour films, Rush Hour 2 and 3, and the first one.
Those are good.
I'm going to
Props.
start this week an HBO Max show, The Mar of Easttown. I've been told I must watch it. If you're a crime guy or girl,
Okay.
you must watch it.
Yeah.
I'm getting hounded. I believe it's done. I think it's
All
5
right.
episodes. I'm going to watch it this week, and it'll be done by next podcast. That's my goal.
Say the title again.
Mar of Easttown.
Mar of Easttown. What's that about?
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet's in it. Okay. But you're hearing like this is one of those that
Yeah.
you keep catching like, hey, you haven't seen this yet.
Mar Sheehan, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. An office police investigator in a small Pennsylvania town investigates a brutal murder as she tries to keep her life from falling apart.
Okay.
I think there's 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay.
Guy Pearce is in it. Evan Peters is in it.
Okay. This is a good list. You got a good list.
Not as good as Norbit.
Norbit's on here. We got Cinderella Man, 2005. The Nevers Part 1 finale. So if you're a fan of the Nevers, I've never seen that one, but I've heard it's pretty good.
Never seen it, huh?
Nevers, never seen it. Never.
Oh, so Mar of Easttown, it's down at the bottom. May
Yeah, I
30th
saw that
is the limited
finale.
series finale. So it must be 6 episodes. 5 or 6 episodes.
Okay. All right. Keep us posted on that one. 300 Rise of an Empire. Is that a different?
I think it's a sequel. I think it's a
Oh.
poopy
Yep.
sequel.
I'd
Okay.
never seen that.
Yeah, who cares about that? Rudy.
Not bad.
That's coming to HBO. We're talking about HBO Max right now.
I love real Rudy stories. Like, they're like, no, this really didn't happen. No one threw their jerseys on the thing. Yes, he was carried off, but it was because the 2 biggest jokers on the team carried him off. Rudy was off sides. Like, I love those real Rudy stories.
They just came in and totally Hollywood the thing. They're like,
Yeah.
it wasn't even close to
Like Joe
this.
Montana's had like interviews like, no, yeah, he was carried off because the 2 biggest pranksters on the team wanted to joke with him and carried him off. Like no one cared.
Well, if you want to revisit it, it's on HBO Max this month with a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, we got this link in here.
HBO Max is pumping out some stuff.
Well, now and then the news we just read is they're basically going to be having at like 7 more channels basically added
It's
to
basically Discovery Plus adding to HBO Max.
that is exactly what
That's
it
what
is.
I was thinking. Yeah.
And I've been seeing like
My wife will be happy about that if we get like Dr. Pimple Popper back.
Yeah, because then you're watching like you can watch Doom Patrol, and she's got
Yeah.
Dr. Pimple Popper. You guys got some crossover. It's all about getting in that one app, trying to spend some time in the one app.
Future news next year, Guys Grocery Game season 75 will be on HBO Max.
We'll be reviewing every single episode. Not maybe some of them.
Yeah.
We'll see what Giggler wants to do. And then Apple TV, there wasn't anything new coming this month, but I thought we'd give everybody some updates on some titles so you can know what's happening. Amazing Stories. Don't know if you guys have seen this. Super great. Highly recommend it. Steven Spielberg, along with some other major directors, have collaborated, and they do like one story at a time, like 10 episodes in a season. Super fun. It used to be on TV years ago. It's pending. I hope it comes back. I have seen. Let's see, it doesn't matter what I've seen. For All Mankind. I've heard this is really good. It's like an alternate world where the Russians won the moon race. And it's like, what does the U.S. do in that scenario? It just got renewed for season 3. The Morning Show. You guys remember this one? Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Steve Carell. Renewed for season 2.
Mythic Quest, I hear, has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow, you referred
See.
that one.
I've still only watched one episode.
Still though.
Now that I've been watching a lot of Peacock, it gives ads for a lot of these shows.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm like
97.
getting more interested in them, like especially Mythic Quest. I've seen that ad like a bunch of times, but then we paid for the ad-free Peacock because we got tired of taking too long to watch one episode of Yellowstone.
Oh yeah.
That's how they get you.
Well, yeah, you get
know.
to your breaking point where you're like, man, these ads are like a hammer on the forehead. Like they're so loud and they're so often.
And then we just watched like a whole season yesterday, thanks to no ads.
That's the move.
Ted Lasso down there. The season it says renewed for season 3 when season 2 hasn't even come out
Season 2 hasn't even come out yet.
yet. Season 2 comes out July 23rd, 2021.
Wow. So that's coming right. That's
Yeah.
almost here.
Ted Lasso's awesome.
That's a couple months.
Mhm.
So we're gonna be watching Ted Lasso again here soon.
2 months, like 2 months.
That's pretty cool. You can hear how excited we are. If you haven't checked out Ted Lasso and you have Apple TV Plus, again, we say it, must watch.
Must watch.
Servant, heard that's pretty good. Renewed for season 3. I mean, I always thought that was gonna be like a season 1 and done type thing. The way
I haven't even watched it.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't even
never
know what
seen
it
it.
is.
Never seen it. I just from what the show looked like, it's like creepy and kind of scary. I thought it might be like a one and
Like American Horror Story type of thing.
yeah, a little bit, but like it's definitely I think one continuous story. So it's
And then-
renewed. Go ahead.
M. Night Shyamalan produces it.
Oh. Okay, so you know it's gonna twist you. All right, that's Apple TV, and here's Peacock.
Oh my God.
I told you guys, I'm trying, and that's why I said let's blast through it.
A lot of WWE stuff coming there. They're starting to
WWE
add some
stuff, Rob Van Dam, Wrestling Challenge, Rob Van Dam, Chronicles of Riddick, American Dreams. You got Along Came Polly, Casino, Catwoman from 2004. Both Crank 1 and 2.
Casino might have the most hateable character of all time in it. If
Who?
you haven't watched it, Sharon Stone. Her character in that movie
I don't even know why
is
I
maybe
asked.
the
Never seen it.
most hated character of all time in cinema. Have you ever seen Casino
No.
with Robert De Niro and Sharon Stone?
Uh,
Sharon Stone, right? Sharon.
I think that's right. Sharon Stone, yeah.
She is
it
the
is.
most. She is maybe one of the most hateable characters of all time. She's like Skyler from Breaking Bad
Oh, man.
on steroids.
Oh, boy. Wow. Well, yeah, you
Yikes.
just described it perfectly. I can already picture the character.
Yeah.
All right, on the list.
I mean, he's not a great guy either, but that's neither here nor there.
Evan Almighty, sequel to Bruce Almighty. Half Baked, Hellboy. Looks like you got a few of the Hobbits on. Again, we're talking about Peacock here. King Kong, Kick-Ass 2, Public Enemies, Top 5, Vegas Vacation, Waterworld. That just came up in the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, someone saw it. They thought of it. Been watching that. The Bourne movies. If you like the Bourne movies with Matt Damon, those are on Peacock now. Oh, and Days of Confused. We went over to a friend's just a couple weeks ago, and they were watching it. I wonder if it was
Peacock.
Peacock.
I don't mind Peacock.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just new, so
Yeah.
like you got to wait for stories like this, and that's why I almost didn't even pull up this list. But I was like, well, we got to know what's on here.
Yeah. The WWE's getting some bad stuff because the network was so good. Now it's not very good on there, but I give them some time.
Give it
Give
time.
them
Yeah.
some time.
Okay.
I like their A&E stuff that we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
If any of these are like that, I'll watch them. So
All right, well, that's a wrap on those, and I couldn't do it anymore after that, so I put together a slide. If you want to see the rest of them, we have Discovery Plus, Tubi, again, IMDb TV, Peacock. There's more even out there, and at this point,
Crazy.
it is getting pretty confusing.
Mhm.
Even the article, you could just tell is like, man, I don't know how to list all this.
Yeah.
But we're going to do the best we can. We're working on a system, and we'll keep you posted on what's happening. So you never know when we'll do these. Big thanks to tvguide.com, comicbook.com. You guys always help us out with those. Really appreciate it. Let's talk about what we're watching.
What you watching?
What you watching is what we tell you what we're watching each and every week. We want to hear from you, the fans. Tell us what you're watching. First up is Giggler. Tell us about the NHL playoffs. How are you enjoying it? Who are you rooting for? What should we expect?
oh man, playoff hockey is the greatest thing in the whole world.
Wow.
There was
Just quit.
5 or 6.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this superhero show?
Yeah.
Mostly hockey.
There's been 5 or 6 games so far. Playoffs started Friday. All of them but one have went to overtime, and there's every single game's been one goal game.
Okay.
So exciting.
Who's your team?
Penguins.
Penguins.
With the Blues in a close second.
Okay.
Penguins lost yesterday to the Islanders. Blues play tonight. They're going to take care of
Late.
business against the number 1 seed, the Avs. I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
Actually, I really am, but it would be a pretty big upset if the Blues took them down, but they can do it.
Are the Penguins still in it?
Yeah.
So that's
it's
them
best
at the
of
top?
it's best of 7 series. So they're down 0-1. They can still pull it off. I'm not worried, but you can just tell by watching the games how much is at stake. They're so fun. Either of you guys watch at all?
I haven't
Just Blues games.
I
guess?
haven't been watching.
games.
I mean, I love Blues games, and
They don't drop the puck till 9 o'clock
Yeah.
our time tonight.
That'll be like 9:30 for real though, which really sucks.
That is super late. I mean, hockey games go long anyway.
It'll be midnight before it's over.
Yeah.
Do the Blues
on a
have
Monday.
do the St. Louis Blues have any chance of winning?
They have a
this thing?
chance, but a lot of people aren't picking them.
Yeah, I think the Avalanche were the President's Trophy winner, which it goes to the best team of the whole league during the season.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big.
Do you? Here's a question,
hurdle, but-
Andy. All the Canadian teams are together.
Mm-hmm.
When they make it to this next round, are they going to be able to play the United States teams, or are they going to?
Right now, they literally don't know.
It's
Like-
still that's up in the air.
So
still?
all the Canadian teams were literally in their own division this year.
Is this a first time thing?
Yeah,
Because of COVID.
because of COVID, and
Oh.
they have much more strict regulations in Canada. Like the Canadian teams have only played each other. There's like 6 of them, I think.
Yeah.
So like there's only like 2 that didn't make the playoffs, the bottom 2, and then they have only played each other. So like Connor McDavid for the Oilers has like 2 points a game because he's playing against the same
He's
crappy
playing
teams.
against the Senators.
Yeah,
like
he's playing
Ottawa
with-
Senators. And
He's playing against. I mean, he's the best player that we probably ever seen play. But still,
better than Sidney Crosby.
I think he will be in the long run. But
Hmm.
whether he wins more
Better than
titles, and
better
stuff,
than Wayne
we'll see.
Gretzky.
No, I don't think anyone else will be there. But
Okay. All right.
that's a lot to be debated on, like goalies and stuff like that. Then versus now, like if you go back, this is just my opinion. If you go back and look at goalies when Gretzky was playing, they're wearing like pads that are like barely bigger than their legs.
Hmm.
But now that you see the goalies and they're like, ugh,
Like
just
the most.
can cover up the whole net. With,
Yeah, like if I was a goalie, that'd be my strategy. Was like, what's the biggest?
I always thought about that. Like, why not have a sumo wrestler goalie?
Yeah.
Like, just plop him in there.
I don't know, but
All right.
I'm
But
excited.
you're enjoying the games, high energy. I've heard and seen a lot, like on the news, that the guys playing are they're really dedicated. This was a very different type of season. Feels like old school hockey. You know, even not having people in the stands, as said, is making a really big impact on how the players are playing and that they keep showing up. And I mean, you know, a hockey when it's high energy, fast paced, you amp it up even more. These guys are probably just going crazy. A lot of fights.
There's not too much fighting, I don't think, but it gets rough.
Yeah.
It gets very rough.
You talk about one of the sports that's just like, yeah, we let people fight in the middle.
Yeah, and that's what it's so brutal.
Get a
It's
5-minute
insane.
penalty.
You just put them together, you wait, and then if they go down, it's over.
Yeah, then you just hit a 5-minute break in the box.
If you did that in any other sport, you'd be suspended for like 2 weeks.
Or if you just did it on the street.
Mhm.
It's just so crazy that they're just beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah,
I love it.
I love it too. Can you like bet on who wins those fights, like on FanDuel and stuff? Is that one of the
No.
many things you can bet on?
No,
I don't
because
think
it's not
so.
predetermined.
That's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Because that'd be a whole. I mean,
But I mean, like
that'd
now
be the way to go. Like live fight right now. Who wins?
well, I mean, Bally Sports now is Fox Sports Midwest, and if Missouri ever gets it, Illinois has it. They're doing live like betting lines at the bottom. I mean, there's a way that they could
yeah,
potentially
Please
do
do.
it.
because I know with
But-
like we were looking at that with the UFC fight on Saturday. It's like these apps you can bet on literally anything.
But with that, who like a hockey fight, how do you tell who wins? Because a lot of times when it goes to the
Yeah,
ground, they
that's
kind
true.
of separate.
That's true. You're right.
So
All right,
I
all
don't-
right. Well, Andy, keep us posted. We're glad you're enjoying it. NHL hockey. It's been. I'll be honest, man. I haven't been watching as much. I wasn't diehard before. I definitely jumped on when the Blues were making their run and when they obviously did win and become champs. Talk about one of the best experiences really of my whole
Mhm.
life. Not just watching the games with friends in the city, the big parade afterwards, and then boom, all of it shut
It was
down.
amazing.
Yeah, that was some pretty good times. All right, we also have. You said you've been watching the OG XMen, the animated series. I assume you've been watching on Disney Plus. I'll go ahead and give it up.
You are correct.
I mean, just look at this poster.
it's so awesome. It's
Like these are the X-Men.
20 minutes an episode, just straight up, just geeking out.
Yep.
To the same thing I did when I was a kid. Like I played all these video games that were so fun. The theme song, top 2 theme song, and all of everything.
How many times do you actually let it play though?
Every episode.
Yeah, like you let it go every time, so it's just
Yeah.
every time just Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Number
Da-da-da-da-da.
number 2 is mostly superheroes.
Da-da-da-da-da.
The only thing that even compares gets me hyped and jacked.
It is.
It is a quick one though.
Yeah, but
Pretty
20 minutes, I feel like whenever it hits again, I'm always like, oh, God, that's really intense.
quick. You look like Professor X down there with your head. Like,
It's like, oh.
So-
But are you enjoying it again, like as an adult, revisiting the series?
For sure. I get confused at times because like the reason I'm watching it is kind of to learn a lot about like what's like what to expect from X-Men, maybe going down the line, since they might enter the MCU, see some old stuff, kind of learn a little bit. But like there are some episodes where I'm like, what the hell is this villain?
Yeah.
Like it's super weird. But I when there's like Magneto-centric episodes and stuff like that of things that I do know, it's awesome. But yeah, I'm kind of coupling this with those two books that I bought, the encyclopedia and the history of the MCU.
So you already bought them.
I'm about to
That's
be a
right.
big brain.
You sent the
I
thing.
forgot to bring them today.
So the history was, I think, make sure I got the title right. The History of the Marvel Universe by Mark Waid.
Yes.
We talked about it from that TikTok,
It's
the Omnibus Collector, which I connected with him, by the way. We just had a little chat back and
Nice.
forth. But you got that book, and then what else did you get?
the Marvel Encyclopedia.
The Marvel
It's literally like
Encyclopedia.
3 inches thick. It's massive.
Oh man, were you pretty pumped to get that
Oh, I was
delivery?
so excited. The encyclopedia is just so overwhelming, but my plan is to go to this, read through this history book once. It's really cool because I'm learning a lot of like crazy things, like just the origin of vibranium, things
Oh,
like that.
man, this is so
Like
cool. Oh
it's
god,
so cool how it's put together, graphically and then just like chronologically. And like it's just like a storytelling. Like it's basically from Galactus telling Reed Richards' son a story of the whole universe because
He's
they're starting a
he's
new
remembering
universe, right?
it.
Yeah. So
and how far are you into it?
about halfway. There's like 6
Wow,
sections, and I'm about halfway through section 3.
And you definitely recommend it.
It's not like a lot of reading, but it's more so I'm just like staring at the page. Like you want to take in all of it. Cause it's like, it's literally, I say this like every time I turn the page, like this is just beautiful.
I mean, you paid for it. Maybe I can just borrow it.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to, once I finish it, I'm going to let you guys borrow it.
I just
And
stare.
probably the encyclopedia I will probably keep here. But
Oh,
once I
man.
get,
And the library. We need a library, I guess.
yeah,
Just flipping through, you just hear pages.
once I get
Get
through
the book.
the history of the MCU
You gonna do the
sorry,
DC?
no. Well, maybe if they have a similar book,
They
No,
do.
count
I
me
just
in.
looked it up.
You already
DC
looked-
Comics Encyclopedia, all new edition, the definitive guide.
Hell yes, to count me in. But I want to kind of use them together, like go through the history pages, and like once there's something or someone I don't know a lot about,
Mhm.
look up that person or place or thing in,
Yeah.
in the encyclopedia and just kind of
Yeah,
deep
because you'll
dive.
have that moment. You'll have you always have that moment where you're like, I don't quite know who that is.
Yeah,
or,
it
I don't
happens a
quite,
lot.
Or I quite don't know where this is. Now all of a sudden you have an alphabetical encyclopedia to look stuff
it
up.
has a lot because there's Celestials, there's Eternals, all this stuff that they're referencing in the early days. And
So we had to go off on this tangent because I mean, you just basically recommended these books to everybody. So Marvel Encyclopedia and also The History of the Marvel Universe by Mark Waid.
Yes.
So on our list, and Andy's
everyone
loving
should
it.
buy them. I'm
Okay.
not kidding.
And it all started with X-Men. So this is going well, kind of watching this while you're reading that. You're kind of just ingrained right now in Marvel stuff.
Yeah, and also I found I was like, I can't wait. I thought to myself, I can't wait to see like when the famous like Wolverine memes are, like when he's just laying in that bed looking at the picture.
Yeah.
Boom, 5th episode already in there.
Just already there immediately. Yeah, you said that's what you said in the picture. Of, like, hey, you're like, hey,
Found the meme.
found the meme.
Season 1, episode 5.
Nice, dude.
Do you hate Cyclops as much as I did as a young child?
You know,
Did you hate this Cyclops or did you hate the Cyclops from the Bryan Singer films?
I hate him.
You hate this one,
'Cause
the
he's
yellow
mean.
and the gold.
He's mean to Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
he's not great so far, but I think he better turn around because I don't remember hating him as a kid.
I like Logan in this show because like this Wolverine is really the one that's just like gruffy and walking around big arms and like very comparable to Beast. Even I always thought they were like this, like the same, but Beast was blue. I always thought of that as a kid,
Mhm.
but
I love that suit too.
This is just great
We'll see it.
nostalgia. Recommend for anyone that watched it or did or didn't watch it.
What
when
about
they were kids.
Jubilee? She never made the movies, did she really?
She did.
did she make the Jubilee made the
She
movies?
was in like Days of Future Past or something like that.
yeah. You're right.
Like very briefly. I think.
I like that movie too. I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch all those again. Actually,
It was in one of those. It might have been First Class. I can't
Not
remember.
Dark Phoenix though.
Well, I think that we should just go ahead and just do all the X-Men and all the X-Men Origins, and we do them all in order. And we do watch all of even the Gene.
Add it
what's
to the
called?
plate.
The Dark Phoenix.
I
yeah.
couldn't finish
Can't
it.
remember the name because I hated it so much.
I didn't finish it. I stopped.
It was really bad. It was like really, really bad. But anyway, Andy, this is going well. Keep us posted if you keep watching X-Men, the animated series. You can find that on Disney Plus. PC Mike, you are up, shifting gears. I have no idea what this is, so tell us all about the Dark Side of the Ring.
Man, I'm wrestling heavy lately. Dark Side of the Ring is on Vice. It is on season 3, and it tells stories about wrestling that are pretty dark. There's murder, there's drugs, there's assassination attempts, there's cover-ups, there's screw jobs, there's all types of things that you hear in wrestling. And Vice does a really great job of basically having 1 or 2 hour documentaries of these things. This one, the picture you have up here is Brian Pillman, who was a loose cannon and did some things that no one's ever done in wrestling before. And unfortunately, he died. And it's kind of his story was the first big episode this year. There's stories of Dino Bravo, who they think was assassinated by the mob up in Canada. There's the Montreal Screwjob, which is Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, which is really famous. There is Dick the Bruiser, who was killed in, I think it's Dick the Bruiser.
Dick the Bruiser.
Is it Dick the Bruiser?
I hope that's.
I hope. I mean, Dick the Bruiser is one of the coolest nicknames I've ever heard.
Dick the Bruiser is a different guy. It's somebody else. But Dick the Bruiser
Okay.
is a wrestler. He was my dad's favorite. That's why I said it. Let me look it up.
And
But
so you said you're watching this on Vice. How do you watch Vice?
I have Vice.
It's just that's another streaming service.
No, it's a cable
Cable.
television show.
It's just a cable. This is a cable channel.
They have a lot of like cutting edge stuff. A lot of
Yeah,
weed shows.
And they do
Oh,
Always
weird stuff
Sunny's
like
always
that.
on there.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. The Vice channel.
767 on Charter.
Bruiser Brody. Bruiser Brody, not Dick the Bruiser. Bruiser Brody. He died. He was stabbed in a wrestling ring or like in the locker room, and everyone kind of covered it up, and no one was convicted.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you said this is a series or like a documentary?
It's a series. So they have
Oh.
3 seasons.
Whoa.
I've seen a few. It's good. They're very well put together.
So you're familiar with
Like
this too?
the Macho Man one with Miss Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth.
A lot of what they talked about in the A&E documentary,
Um,
but kind of just spun a little bit.
Jimmy
differently.
Snuka. And
Okay.
The death of Nancy Argentino. The final days of Owen Hart.
Wow.
That's a sad one too.
So this is one that you
Very
this
sad.
is one that you recommend for wrestling fans, or is this something that even non-wrestling fans would enjoy? Who's this for?
I think non-wrestling fans would like it, but the product right now, like Andy said, is not great. But they keep pumping out these documentaries and all these other things that get me still like involved in wrestling.
Yeah.
The A&E biographies are awesome. I didn't get to watch Shawn Michaels yet, but I recorded it. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
These are amazing.
Mm.
The Von Erich family, if you've never heard of the last of the Von Erichs, my dad watches these. My dad loves these. And he's not even a wrestling fan, but he'll call me and be like, did you see that one? Or did you watch the A&E biography of Stone Cold Steve Austin? Even if you're just a casual fan and you know what it is, I would recommend watching it, especially because some of these Dark Side of the Ring stories, they're not well known.
Wow.
And they're like little mini documentaries of some crazy things that happened. Like the Von Erich family, I think like 4 out of the 5 brothers have died, like by either suicide or some kind of crazy things, and just like a cursed family, but they were wrestling gods in Texas. There's just some really cool things. The Road Warriors, they have a Road Warriors one that, you know,
Yeah, know them.
just their kind of lives and times.
Yeah, it sounds almost like it almost sounds like wrestling combined with like true crime,
Yeah.
combined with like even like some of the something like from like Succession, like where you got like
Yeah.
the corporate kind of background, things happen behind the scenes, but it's true stories. And it's called Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah. and
I also looked up. You said it's on Vice, but I started pulling in like from Google just this screenshot. I might start throwing these like on every title.
that'd be awesome. Yeah, because it says Hulu, and I
I
haven't checked
know.
it. on Hulu,
It says like, oh, you were wondering where it watches. Google says Hulu for premium, Discovery Plus.
I like that.
It says it's on Fubo TV, Filio, Sling. It looks like it's on Sling, and then the rest of them you got to pay. But
No.
it looks like it's maybe
I mean,
around.
the first couple, I didn't have Vice. I would watch them on YouTube. I mean, they're on YouTube. You can find them.
All right, good deal. Dark Side of the Ring, you heard it here. Wrestling fans or not, it sounds like it might be something to get into. You got me intrigued talking about it. See, you got excited, and the way you even put it in perspective. The other shows you brought up, you're like, yeah, they're great. This is amazing. I think I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, there's some. If you need ones that like, which ones would you watch? I'll do top 3 really quickly.
Go ahead.
The Killing of Bruiser Brody is insane. The Last of the Von Erichs is a heartbreaking story, but I think it's something that you need to watch. And then I would watch either The Last Days of Owen Hart or The Assassination of Dino Bravo.
I really appreciate that because those will be the 3 that I probably watch. Because it's like, pick out the top ones.
I mean, and then if you really want to get it, I mean, there's a Chris Benoit part 1 and 2.
All right. Dark Side of the Ring, you heard it here. Vice, might be hearing more about it in the future. Couple for me, got What You Watching. Just doing, these would be super quick. I did start Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. Have you guys started it?
Nope.
No?
I just see
It's
it.
very high on the list, but
Okay,
tell me more. Should I watch it?
So I'm 1 episode. Actually, I'm 2 episodes in. Just started the 3rd episode, but halfway through. Might have to have you look up how many there are. They're on the first season though of this show. This is from a graphic novel, and basically it's the story of like a group of superheroes that's been around for like 100 years, and they actually have they have kids now. So there's this legacy of new superheroes that are born. There are 8 episodes in season 1. Thank you, PC Mike. And it's called Jupiter's Legacy, even though I'm still confused about maybe where Jupiter falls into place, because there's a bunch of names in here, and I don't think Jupiter is like one of them.
Nice.
This is what I'm going to say. The first episode grabbed me. Grabbed Carrie, too. Watched the trailer, watched episode 1. Pilot ended, and I was like, I looked at her. I said, keep going. And she goes, oh, yeah. And then episode 2, Carrie fell asleep about 40 minutes in, and I started dozing off though. But I'm watching because I don't really fall asleep during stuff. Like I'll watch stuff to my detriment, and it is good. And I'm gonna continue. I'll watch the whole season because they got me so much with that first episode. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna be honest, man, it started falling away. It also started feeling a little bit how I felt watching Lock and Key. I liked Lock and Key on Netflix. But, there was probably like a solid 33% of that show that I was like, I don't need any of this.
Yeah.
So much exposition, really just stuff I don't care about. Netflix has had a lot of things that have made me feel this way. I hope it pays off. I don't know what will happen. I will continue watching and report back.
I appreciate that. I've been looking for a valid review to see someone that I know has similar tastes.
That will be my advice then, especially for you two, our listeners. If you haven't seen it, maybe just hold off like 1 more week.
Let us know, because the ratings I'm seeing right now, and I know ratings aren't everything.
Go ahead and tell us.
38% on Rotten Tomatoes. 6.9 nice on IMDb.
Not a great legacy there.
But, I take it all with a grain of salt. There are movies that have 50% that I like,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, Jupiter's Legacy. Let's keep you posted on that. Listener, if you've been watching this, you checked it out. Like I said, we're keeping it spoiler-free at the moment, but feel free to write us in. Let us know what you think. But I did actually have at least one What You Watching, something that I saw beginning to end. Definitely want to throw out a rating. Really enjoyed this movie. I believe it's 1990?
Later than that.
Later than that. Help me out, PC Mike, because I'm watching a lot of stuff in the 90s.
I'm going to guess like 2000. No, 99.
It is the whole 9 yards with Bruce Willis, Matthew Perry, and a bunch of other folks. I'll get it out of the way. Had a good time. Carrie and I threw it on. I had never seen it. So it was my first time seeing it. She's seen it for years. I can tell you, just coming into it, beginning to end, it ended. I was like, that was a good movie, very funny. Made me have nostalgia for the type of movie this is. Just, you can't recreate like this 90s vibe of what a 90s like rom-com mystery movie felt like. And this was just one of those that you didn't have to think too hard about. I'll definitely revisit it, years from now, and I'll give it a 3.0.
Yeah, it was 2000s.
Oh,
2000.
really?
Yeah.
Way off. 2000.
2000.
Oh, so I was just 10 years off. I knew it was a round number. Just 10 years off.
The only reason I got that is because Matthew Perry's in it.
I should have known. Like they were very, they were very reliant on pagers
In 2000.
in this movie.
Really?
Oh man, they had beepers, and it was like everything was about like, oh, I'm getting beeped. I gotta go call.
Beep, beep.
Like, oh my God.
There's a sequel, The Whole 10 Yards.
What?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Same cast?
Bruce Willis, Matthew Perry.
All right, I'll put that on the maybe list.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say yes because I liked this one.
Yeah.
Came out in 2004.
Well, shoot. Okay. The sequel, we'll put it on here, and you'll hear it on What You Watching. Thanks to Plane Zero for the image here, and you can watch that on Netflix. That was one of those latest arrivals.
Can you give me like a 10-second
I guess
breakdown
I
of
should.
what this movie's even about? Because I
I
totally forgot.
I'm glad you asked, because I'm talking as if, in my mind, everyone's seen this.
I've seen it, but I don't remember a single thing about it.
All right, here's the premise with no spoilers. Just imagine the synopsis. You got Matthew Perry. He's a dentist. They live in Montreal. They live in Canada. And his wife is Canadian. She's like horrible. She doesn't like him. She's only staying with him because he actually has like a pretty good life insurance policy on his life. And she's just like waiting it out. Well,
How old is he?
he's only like 30.
Yeah, he's like
in
our
the
age.
movie. Yeah. And that's the joke. She always wants money. That's all she cares about. She'll never work. She doesn't want to do that. She
Is
just
it the
wants money.
blonde chick or Amanda Peet?
So actually, his wife isn't even on this poster right here.
Oh.
So the blonde chick is Bruce Willis's wife, and so Bruce Willis plays a hitman, and he moves in next door to Matthew Perry.
Gotcha.
So that's the whole kind of premise. It's like, what happens here? And when you got people that are money hungry, live next to a hitman. This guy's like famous. He's in the papers. They know who he is. And Matthew Perry like meets him immediately, and they have a conversation, and the movie just takes off from there.
I want you to guess. Okay, not this. This one actually did well, made a lot of money at the box office.
How'd it do?
I think it made $100 million on like a $25 million budget.
25 million is what I thought I saw. Yeah.
Guess what the Rotten Tomatoes ranking for the whole 10 yards is
For the sequel.
for the sequel of this?
So I'm going to guess. You said Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes.
12.
I can't tell if he's going to say good or bad, so I'll say 72%. 4?
4%.
Oh, no. Oh, that's really bad.
That's really bad.
And
it lost money, too.
I just said it doesn't affect the way I feel, and I'm literally like, boo, you suck. That movie's going to be
It
terrible.
lost like $15 million overall, too, because I think it was so bad.
Well, now I feel like we should all watch it and then come in here and report back. So, yeah, that's the premise. Do you think you'll go see it, Andy?
I'd watch it again. Oh, if it's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. I just got there.
Most likely.
I don't need to persuade you to. It was definitely like one of those where we were like, oh,
Okay.
why not? All right, guys, let's take a break. When we come back, it's all about the MCU, of course, doing mostly superheroes. Only 2 left in the MCU rewatch, and it's all about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You've heard others, but nothing could prepare you for the shameful stupidity that is the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Hear Imran,
So if you offend everyone at once, it's a wash. I've covered everybody.
Anthony,
Sorry, I was texting. Say that again.
and Rug Boy
Yeah, whenever there's a snowstorm, my slack hole tightens up.
as they talk over one another,
Just exactly the same as
Terminator.
We're talking over each other. It's fine.
Sorry,
swear,
I had boobies.
and ask you for money.
Just give us the money.
Witness the hubris as they claim to be the world's authority on comic book movies.
Who said?
Never said that. You've never said that.
Who cares? A jock said that.
Comic book, TV, movie reviews, news, and whatever they choose. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Campy, silly, goofy fun.
Seriously, people really listen to this.
Jock and Nerd.
The meat.
Welcome back from the break. I'm your host, Logan. This is mostly superheroes, PC Mike, and the Giggler. It's time to earn that name, mostly superheroes. It's time for the meat. It's why you came. It's our feature, our premiere, the sizzle, the chunk. And right now it is MCU heavy, talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. These guys have just reached into our dreams and taken our childhood versions of ourselves and given us everything we've asked for, and they have no intention of stopping. So I'll give it up for them real quick, because I don't know if we've done just a good old-fashioned fanboy out in a while. We got 2 of these things left, Infinity War, then this movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Endgame. We've already done the Infinity stuff. Captain Marvel. I mean, it's happening. We're wrapping this thing up. What's going to be the Infinity Saga is going to be tight. It's going to have its home on mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU.
You want to know something crazy?
Let's hear it.
Once we add to this, will be like real time.
That's
like
what
it won't be
Yes.
us going back to like 2008. It'll
exactly.
be all real time.
And
Real time. Go ahead.
Black Widow.
Black Widow, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys. it's gotten to where the format, it's like, okay, we watched the old thing, talk about the new thing. We're gonna talk about the new MCU titles that were announced a couple weeks ago when we had our week out of the studio.
It's like Memento.
It's like Memento.
When the past meets the present, and now we're just present.
I thought you meant it's like Memento. Andy has no idea what's going on.
The past. We're in the past.
Yes,
kinda
we're in
did.
the
We're
past.
slowly coming together, and now we're gonna be boom.
And what an
all
experience
present.
it's been. We've had so many fun moments connecting things from movies to shows we're watching now. It's going to happen again today. Let me just go and give a spoiler alert. Let's go and talk about our feature that is next. In the MCU rewatch, after being introduced in Ant-Man in 2015 and reprising the role in Captain America Civil War, taking place around the same time, right after, actually, Avengers Infinity War, is the 19th MCU title. Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige, of course, along with writers Chris McKenna and Eric Sommers, directed by Peyton Reed. It's a film that, in my mind, does its job, held us over while waiting on Avengers Endgame. It's fun, it's light, and a little dark in the end. It's 2018. Paul Rudd is back with Evangeline Lilly and Michael Douglas in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Let's give it up. Before we do our gut checks with the crew here, it came out July 6, 2018, right in between, in my opinion, the two biggest superhero movies of all time. This was the We'll Hold You Over Just Fine at a budget of $195 million, and it only made, in Marvel standards, $622 million. Still,
Made $500 million.
yeah, it tripled its money. It did okay. I just watched it today. I loved it all over again. This is a fun movie. This is one of those weird movies, though, with the timing it takes place in the whole story of things. Let's go ahead and look at Giggler, our MCU guy that has seen this thing how many times at this point? And you said you watched it.
I will
recently
honestly.
too.
This is what's kind of rare for this. I don't think I've seen this in full since the theaters.
Yeah.
So it was
'Cause
good.
It's one of the later movies.
Yeah. So today I made sure that I paid triple attention while I was watching to kind of catch everything in better than normal, I guess.
Yeah. How was your experience revisiting it today and actually given, like you said, that full attention?
AKA I watched it while I worked, but it was great. Honestly, I now I kind of ask myself why I hadn't rewatched it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it came on TV one time and I watched half of it, but I do that with most movies that are Marvel at all times. So Endgame was on again last night. It's like
It was.
Jeez.
I turned it on as soon as Tony Stark did the
thing.
thing. Did the thing. That's
Right.
awesome.
That's good. That was a good way to do that.
Oh God.
For new MCU fans.
yeah,
'Cause I
exactly.
think there's a lot of new fans out there.
Because if they're watching all these videos in order,
This guy.
yes,
Well, no, go ahead.
then they're about to get to that movie. So,
They're about to get there. That
which
was
is insane.
That was the part. I remember being in theaters and being like, "Oh my God, this is just until the next one." PC Mike, first time watcher.
First time watcher.
Okay, and
It was a fun movie. I don't think it was. I'm not blown away. Some stuff is really cool, like some graphics and things.
Yeah.
When they go big and small.
Yep.
But it was a fun movie. It was lighthearted, I thought, most of the times. I love Ant-Man as a character. Paul Rudd does a great job. Michelle Pfeiffer, for some reason, is still a fox to me in
Yeah.
this film.
our
Just a
Catwoman
rocket.
I was gonna ask you about that.
I was
Oh,
like- I'm on her Wikipedia right now. I'm just like, man,
still looking great.
still looking great.
Just looks unbelievable.
Just, yeah,
If you're not considering bringing her back for Catwoman in this Flashpoint movie, what are you doing?
you're not doing it right.
You got Keaton,
She could still do it.
but you had a good time with it.
Yeah.
Like you said, nothing that was like mind blowing. It's a good movie, good story, funny, easy to watch.
I think it was, like you said, I think it's a good transition. I think it's a little more lighthearted. Let's go back and find her, like, kind of storyline.
Yeah. And I also like how this movie actually is kind of like that. It's like lighthearted, it's fun, happy stuff. Whenever we all kind of know exactly there's actually this big dark thing looming about this. Let's go ahead and talk about this thing. Give a spoiler alert for the film, as well as a spoiler alert for Captain America Civil War, and of course a spoiler alert for Avengers Infinity War. This is big stuff because the way this movie lands, the end credit scene, and the story how it wraps up, you really need to have seen Infinity War, so that's your big spoiler alert for that movie, but we are talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Let's get a quick 2-minute little recap right now. Make it quick, tight, make the connections where they matter. Scott Lang is back after the events of Captain America Civil War when he fought in Germany against Iron Man and a whole bunch of other Avengers. In this movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Scott is actually on house arrest. It's a war crime. This is because of the Sokovia Accords that are a thing. And when this movie picks up, he only has a couple days left on this.
Like 3 or 4.
3 or 4 days left of this 2-year sentence of being home. And it's so, first of all, you find out it's been 2 years since Civil War. Time has passed, which falls right in line with the movies that fall around this. Another ramification of Civil War, other than Scott's house arrest, Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, and his daughter Hope, played by Evangeline Lilly, who you might remember from Lost. They're on the run from the government and also trying to bring back Hope's mother. Someone's phone. You guys hear that beeping?
I was trying to time you to see how long you go. And then
Is my time already up?
Yeah.
Oh,
started
man.
earlier.
Oh, man. No, you're like Andy. You started during the warm-up.
I didn't know that was your warm up. I thought you were going.
I legit thought like a bomb was about to go
Yeah,
off.
that
I just
was
heard
weird.
doot, 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 doot. I was like, there's going to be a bomb.
Maybe it's Michael Douglas pushing that button and shrinking his whole little place.
All right. Speaking of Dr. Pym, Hank Pym, watch the alarms PC mic. Man, that made me
It was
sweat.
from my PC too.
It was from your PC. Michael Douglas and his daughter Hope, Evangeline Lilly, on the run from the government, also trying to bring back Janet Pym, a.k.a. Michelle Pfeiffer, a.k.a. Catwoman, like I said. She's in the quantum realm, Mike's favorite. And we also meet Ghost, a.k.a. Ava Starr, played by Hannah John Kamen. She is the villain of the story in this one. She's a victim of the quantum realm. She has these really cool phase-in and phase-out powers. And her whole thing is, I want to destroy Hank Pym because he caused me to be like this. And I also want to suck the energy from Mrs. Pym when she gets out of the quantum realm because that's going to heal her from this phasing disease she has. We also meet Simon Birch, our other antagonist of the story, played by the hilarious Walton Goggins. This is the guy from Vice Principals, The Righteous Gemstones.
Yep.
Just amazing. He's
awesome.
He's so great. He just nails it in this. Honestly, I think he's very purely the comedic relief in this. I didn't take his villain even kind of seriously, but I thought that kind of made it fun. It gave his kind of beeline characters to Scott Lang, his friends, someone to interact with, a villain for them. And of course, Luis, Scott's best friend in the movie, played by Michael Pena, comes back. He's the fast-talking storytelling guy. He does a great job in this. Well, in the end, Ant-Man and the Wasp do defeat Simon, Ghost. They bring back Janet Pym, and they even get Scott home in time for the FBI to release him from the house arrest. It's a happy ending where everyone wins, or so you think. And that's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Nice. I did start your timer too early.
How was it actually?
I think it was around 2 minutes.
I think we're getting
2:30.
right at that 2 minutes. What matters? Who's in it? Where's it connect? What happens? And let's not even mess around. I don't know. I almost want to wait on talking about the end credit scene because that's a whole nother discussion. Why don't we before we do that? I kind of want to just talk about any big parts that we have in the movie, and I have a few listed to kind of get us rolling. I loved any time he becomes big giant man.
He gets sleepy.
Don't we all?
He gets real sleepy after he gets too big.
I just need a 5-minute nap.
I like when he got his suit breaks and he's in the school, and he shrinks down to
Yeah.
he shrinks down to 4 feet.
Yeah, and he's like, "Hey kid,
He's a
stop!
little
Kid,
kid.
stop!"
He's like, "Hey kid, wait!" And he just runs with the rain jacket
teacher's
on.
like, "I don't care."
It reminded me of
Was that relatable as
Yeah,
a
I was
teacher?
it reminded me of Deadpool 2 when he was
Yeah.
the baby with the
Growing back.
oh yeah.
Yeah, growing back. Yeah, because I thought that was great that they did that. They're like, we always see him really small or really big. What if he just kind of shrank?
Mhm.
But that was pretty good.
I love the stepdad.
Oh yeah, the cop, the
Who
stepdad.
always hugs him when
Yeah.
they're leaving, like his ex-wife.
They ended on such good terms, I guess, in
Yeah.
Ant-Man that he's like, "Come here, give me a hug."
Yeah.
He's like, "You got this, dude. Only a few days left."
I love you, man. That sweet slide he made for his daughter at his house, in the
Oh,
very beginning.
yeah.
The
I was
opening
like,
sequence, everything about him being home. You know what I realized was it was quarantine ahead of its time.
Yeah. I
They're-
was
they're
really
like-
just thinking that.
so we've tracked your movements. You take a 2-hour bath every day or something. He's like, "No, I don't." And that ant's just
Yeah.
sitting in that tub.
Yeah, she goes, "Yeah, he follows your schedule pretty closely. 5 hours in bed, 2 hours in the bath."
Yeah.
And he goes, "That doesn't sound that accurate."
It's like,
he learned magic from
Yeah.
his daughter. I love Jimmy Woo in this movie. Kind
That's-
of jumping ahead to connections, but we see James Woo come back in WandaVision, and this is where we meet this character. He's
He's
unbelievable.
kind of
Love
a
him.
jerk
Love
in
him.
this one, but
He's
I think
kind of
it's his job.
but he's the FBI,
Yeah.
But he's also like a realistic, nice guy. Like he apologized, like whenever they catch the bad guy,
Yeah.
he's like, "Yes," and he's like, "Oh, sorry, Scott, that was insensitive."
he's like at the very end, he's like, Scott's like, all right, I'll see you later. He's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, like, I'll see you later. And then he's like, Scott's like, do you want to grab dinner? He's like, no. He's like, well, do you? And he's
yeah,
like,
Agent Woo. He's like, I'll be seeing you around.
Yeah.
And he's like, when? And he's like, I just mean like in general.
in
like,
general,
if you-
like, I'm going to catch you.
if you do something bad, I'll get you.
All right.
I like how he explains to Scott's daughter in the beginning of the movie. She's like, "Why is my dad under house arrest?" And he's like, "I know it's kind of complicated, for kids to understand. Let me try to put it in simple terms. You know how your school has rules? Well, your dad flew to Germany, fought against the Avengers, and he broke the Sokovia Accords, and he fought Captain America, fought Iron Man.
Cap.
Now he's in
All
detention.
Cap.
Calls him Cap.
Yeah, the quarantine, that was on my list. The slide, everything he's doing, karaoke, Giggler.
Drumming.
Any other moments that you're looking at that you that particularly stuck out?
Big fan of all the ant puns at all times.
All times.
You know my feeling about puns, so Antonio, etc. All those. What we got? I would have loved to have more Luis at all times.
Yeah.
Everything he said was hilarious. We did like that. Was that?
Yeah. He's like, you just remember that classic commercial?
It's one of the best parts of the movie. And also like all the creative uses of the powers basically in that scene at the end was pretty awesome. Pez dispenser, like the Hot Wheels. He was big and he was riding like the 18-wheeler as like a scooter.
He's just pushing with his leg.
I was like, that's awesome. It made me think like, if I had that suit, what would I use these powers for?
Oh,
And
man.
I don't know.
It'd be hard just not to like be big and like see how far you could run.
I'd probably
Like
I'd
jump.
probably be small more, be sneaky, and
Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
it doesn't make you as sleepy.
that's true. I'm always sleepy, so I try to. I don't know what I'd do.
All right. Let's talk about some connections. We also have, let's talk about what you need to see, what you don't need to see. Ant-Man is the prequel to this, is the original film. So I'd say, yeah, absolutely. You got to see it. Sets up all the characters. Captain America Civil War, a middle movie that features Ant-Man, must watch. And absolutely Infinity War and Endgame, you got to see them. A bonus, I already mentioned it, but WandaVision does feature again Agent James Woo in the show after this movie takes place. So this would be something that you'd watch early on and it would connect it. Why don't we go ahead and do some ratings? I'll get mine out of the way. I like it. I'm kind of like you, Mike, not like crazy blowing me out of the water. It's when I revisit. Even when I watch it now, it's just hard not to feel like, it's a placeholder. It feels really mean to say that because I know that like a lot of people, this movie is its own movie in its own right. A lot of people worked on it, looked beautiful, did its job, but you can't help but be like, all right, Endgame is next. I'll give it a 3.1. Let's go PC, Mike.
See it
Yeah.
from the first timer.
That's exactly where I was. A fun movie. Didn't really kind of advance the story, I guess, with the end credits scene. But I was right at a 3.0.
3.0.
Yep.
Like it. Solid score. Fair score.
I wrote this down. I had the same exact score as Logan, 3.1.
3.1. Look at that. I saw you nod your head. I was like, does that mean we're the same? We all fall in line. It's not all the time.
Yeah,
But sometimes.
it's just better than I thought it was. I guess I don't know. Maybe I just don't give Ant-Man enough credit.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd is
I think Paul Rudd
is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and here's what's not
He's
fair.
perfect.
You take out like the Infinity Saga. Like, imagine you don't even know like Iron Man never happened, but then this movie came out. You'd be like, that's the best movie I've ever seen in my whole life, probably, if you had never even heard of any of the Avengers.
Yeah, because I think they do a good job, even if you haven't watched everything in this movie. I think it's almost like could be a standalone.
Standalone film
'Cause
outside
it kind of tells like its own little story.
It's in its own bubble.
Mhm.
Let's go and talk about this in credit scene and break away from that bubble because that's where everything changes. Again, major spoiler alert for Avengers Infinity War. Major. Okay, so you guys know what happened in Infinity War. The snap, now referred to in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as the blip, killed half of everybody in the universe. And this was a big question in Infinity War. Where's Ant-Man? He's not in the big fight. He's not at Wakanda. He's not on Titan. It's like, where is this guy? Oh, well, he was on house arrest because of what he did in Civil War. And then he's like dealing with his own problems in this fight thing. End credit scene, happy story. Janet Pym's back. They're on a roof. It's time to go into the quantum realm and take out the particles to help heal our ghost friend that we met earlier in the movie. Scott goes in. He plays a little joke on him, like, the microphone cuts, like the walkie-talkie goes out. And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm here. And then they said, we're going to bring you back in 5, 4, 3, 2. Silence. He's like, all right, guys, get me out of here. He's just floating in the quantum realm. It's like, very funny. Ha, 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 ha. Goes up. They've all 3 been dusted, killed, dead from the Thanos snap.
Rip.
Oh, my God. It was like, that's what I was waiting for. When you're in theaters, you're watching this movie, you've just seen Infinity War, you're like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. When, and how? Did you guys ever notice, or did you notice when you watched this, like right before he gets snapped, all those like moving yellow things in the quantum realm? Did you ever notice this? There's like a theory out there about this, about that whenever Thanos did the snap, because Paul Rudd was in the quantum realm, there's like a theory that maybe like whatever the soul is, like it like exists there, and like they all start shooting. You see all these yellow things start shooting around right whenever he can't go back up, and they're saying like that's like all of the people getting dusted.
Ooh,
I know.
a little morbid.
I know.
There was
Like I said, it gets dark here in the end.
a little clip where you could see like a little city kind of in there,
Ooh.
and people are like
Like
I've
you can see
heard
where it is.
connecting to the third Ant-Man, which we have confirmed that the villain is going to be Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors. That's
Oh
that's
my
already
God.
confirmed,
Yeah, that's confirmed.
and I can't remember when this comes out exactly, but Quantumania. So obviously it's going to be a lot.
February 17th, 2023.
There
That's
we
right.
go.
That's right. That's right.
That's not that far away.
Yeah, because Quantum Realm, it's very time travel, especially from what we learn in game. Try to keep it spoiler free, but you learn about how it affects time.
That's what Kang does. So evidently they're
What's he do?
people time travel.
He's a time traveler.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you
Yeah.
learn this in your books?
No.
In your studies?
I could though. Honestly, it was mentioned. It like there. No, never mind. I take that back.
No, but
I was just
you
getting
already,
to like
but you
creation of
already
Ant-Man.
knew though.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's. I mean that's a connection that we could see for the new one, because we've heard for a while that might be like the next Thanos,
Yeah.
like the big bad of the next phase. So we haven't really heard anything confirmed.
He's a pretty big villain, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's known. I almost said he's major known. Like, is his name Jonathan Majors?
Like Chronopolis, I think, was the name of the city that people are thinking it might be. I guess that's where he lived.
Deep cuts.
So he could be like in that. Like I'm just kind of spitballing and just guessing. Like maybe he was negatively affected by that moment that we saw where
right.
Oh.
the snap. So maybe that's what kind of causes him to. And obviously
Oh,
they just time traveled and
ways.
potentially mess something up. Like obviously with Loki.
Yeah.
Here's another. This is where I believe I saw that where like Kang being introduced is potentially for that, because there's a scene in the Loki trailer where you can see what looks like his like Kang's head like in the background,
Oh,
like
geez.
like not his actual head, but it's like ancient ruins or something that they're in, and you can see it like
It's like
there's
another
art like on the big statue type thing. So
Plus, they could be like in any universe, any
Yeah.
version of the world.
yeah, exactly. That's
Well,
just gets you more excited for Loki.
No, we're going to talk more about this too, because like I said, we have the MCU slate pulled up in a minute, so we'll wrap this up. So yeah, we get the big blip. That's in credit scene 1. Man, what a time. I tell you, it felt like you just saw like a different part of Infinity War. Pretty cool as a fan to experience just that kind of storytelling, all these massive movies happening. I mean, you had Infinity War in 2017, and then you had Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then just a few short months later, you had Endgame. So it was pretty cool
Yeah.
experience. And yeah, wrap up Ant-Man and the Wasp. We want to make sure that you know what comes next, so you know how to watch these things in release order if you're trying to have like the first real experience. Captain Marvel is next.
Your favorite?
It's next.
I've never seen it.
We're gonna watch it.
I'm
gonna watch
excited.
it.
I really do enjoy it, and I think that you said this. You're gonna enjoy it more this time around. I really feel like we've beefed this up too more than what it is. And I've never said that I hate the movie. I've never said that. I just said
You've strongly implied that you dislike it.
I just it has a lukewarm. You talk about lukewarm, but you know what I'm excited for? You've never even seen it.
Never seen it. I've never seen Spider-Man Far From Home either. This is fun for me.
It should be. This is like the whole point. We hope that
Yeah.
we're talking to. This is who we're trying to talk to. MCU fans, and like people that are like, well, I've always wanted to kind of try it.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I am too. To never experience these.
And a little heads up, Spider-Man Far From Home is on Amazon Prime. I've already searched.
And we know that per the deals happening with Sony, that they are going to be coming. All the Spider-Man suite of movies are going to be coming to Disney Plus soon.
Yes.
We have heard. All of them. So that's good news. Okay, so Captain Marvel, we are going to watch that next week.
Endgame we've already done.
I believe next week. We have to double check this. Actually, I can. We'll look. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do Captain Marvel next week. The only reason I'm saying maybe not is because we talked about trying to like speed through Invincible. So that's on my list too. But I really want to wrap up this rewatch. We got 2 films left. All right, let's talk about future stuff. Marvel Phase 4. This came from Bradley Russell, Molly Edwards, and Alyssa Mercante. Don't have the picture here. I think this was from Games Radar. I'll have the link in the bio, but it's Marvel Phase 4 article. I don't have the one thing I don't have here is the website. I have all of the people that wrote it. New MCU release dates, cast news, crossovers, and more. And we have the whole list. So we've had a couple variations of this schedule, but it's been changing. Obviously, Loki. I mean, this is now June 11th, so this is coming up. We're like 3 weeks away.
Even that's out of date. It's June 9th.
You're right. It's June. You're right. It's June 9th.
It changes
now.
every
God,
day.
it changes all the time.
Black Widow is probably 2024 now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't say that. Don't.
No, it's going to be July 7th. Then we got What If. We still don't have a date on that. Shang-Chi, Eternals, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, and Spider-Man 3. So we already know this. This is 2021. We've talked about this all this year. All right, so then 2022, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, March 25th, 2022. Thor, Love and Thunder, May 6th, 2022. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, July 8th. The Marvels, which is the Captain Marvel sequel.
That has some tie-ins with WandaVision, correct?
That has some tie-ins with WandaVision and also potentially, we assume, Miss Marvel.
Yeah, for sure.
That's November 11th, 2022. And then then Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, the third
There we
movie.
are.
That's February 17th, 2023. So then you're getting into the following year. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3 is May 5th, 2023. So that's as far as it's going right now. Jesus Christ, these titles, they start getting really big and close together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's that little 3 or 6 month stretch there where it's Doctor Strange, Thor, and Black Panther all just right there.
And then the Marvels, like these are all movies too. Like these aren't even, like there aren't series even like tucked in here now.
They're planning
There
to
will
be
be.
back to the theaters. You can kind of tell.
Well, not just that, but even if that was the case though, you would think you'd have some series kind of tucked in between.
Yeah. I'm
But-
sure they just haven't been announced because obviously there's things that might be holding them back. Like
Yeah, right. There's more to come.
announcements because the show might be an offshoot of something that's not known yet, something like that. Because that's where my biggest question is, that kind of just what we just talked about with Kang, but like what's going to be the Avengers 5 movie? When's it going to happen and what's it going to be about?
Yeah, exactly. And they have to be careful about telling you when things come out. It's just like with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. They couldn't tell you that was coming out until after Falcon the Winter Soldier ended. And then like there's a certain order to how they can do it. Because if they tell you there's a sequel, then you can start to put together like, oh, no, that's what happens.
Yeah, it could be like Loki season 2 next year could fill one of those gaps. I think we'll be all right on content.
Oh, we're fine at this point. Our method now, the way we're visiting titles, is looking good. But it's all happening at MCU, our MCU page, mostlysuperheroes.com/MCU. Today was all about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like I said, Captain Marvel coming up next. So get ready, watch it, and come listen for the best experience. And with that, let's talk about what's coming up. Whew. Packed it in today.
We really did.
Oh my gosh.
Crushed
This is one of those where it's just like keeps on giving. Well, Ant-Man and the Wasp talk about keeping on giving. I went ahead and did it for the music show this week.
Nice.
Give it up.
I like that idea.
Yeah, well, I realized that there was some really good music in there. And then I thought, well, the order of operations, the music show got me warmed up for the big show. So we might be doing this new thing with like, does the feature we talk about each week, the meat, does it have a bomb soundtrack? Well, then you can just expect it to be in the music show that week.
It's just Scott Lang playing his drums on house arrest for the soundtrack.
Don't forget credit scene number 2 of the ant playing it.
We
Yeah.
didn't even
Play
say
it,
it. Yeah, so there's a second end credit scene. Didn't even say it. Ant-Man the Wasp. Just sitting there
jamming ant.
while everybody's dead.
Damn it. You had to go dark like that. I didn't even think about that.
It's the camera's panning around the house, and it's just on the TV, just going.
Feel bad for the ant.
Yeah.
I just bored.
Yeah.
Well, I can't
Well.
go out in the wilderness. I'm a giant ant.
I'm a giant ant, and they programmed me to do Scott Lang's schedule, and now I'm stuck here.
Do you think he did it for 5 years?
Oh, I bet he's been playing ever since.
At least he gets bass every day.
So go check it out, the music show. It was really fun, super short and sweet, and enjoyed the soundtrack from Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's on Spotify, called The Music Show. You can find it at mostlysuperheroes.com/the music show. Yeah, see, like I knew I had messed up. I this is how my subconscious works.
You hated it
I
so much.
didn't want to talk about Captain Marvel, I guess, because I jumped ahead to Spider-Man Far From Home. That's too early. That's going to be 2 or 3 weeks down the road. So actually next week will be Captain Marvel and then Spider-Man Far From Home, because we've already done Infinity War and Endgame.
So let's do Invincible after Spider-Man Far From Home.
You know how to work out, I think, is if we can knock out these next 2 MCU movies, and then the third week we do Invincible. That's the week before Loki.
Yep.
And then we're back on schedule.
Cue the DC
Agree.
Deal.
walkthrough coming up. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
DC rewatch.
You literally just
said the
it.
wrong word.
You literally just said it. That was the next slide. Hashtag DC rewatch. Yeah, this is going to be the next thing. The only thing is we have to pick what title. Siri's over here chatting me up behind my back. I was like, that's why I usually unplug the thing before. I thought about putting a mic on it, and then we could ask it questions.
That'd be cool.
We'll think about it. Anyway, DC rewatch. We got to pick where we're going to start. I don't know if we just go straight chronological. I think it'd be more fun to watch series of things.
So switch it up a little bit from the Marvel.
Yeah, because Marvel is, we did the MCU, the Infinity Saga, and it made sense to go in the order we did because we did release order. Okay, DC, it's not like that. So we need to pick, I think, like buckets of things and watch them together as an experience. So, like, for example, maybe we start with Superman.
Superman 1, 2, 3.
We could
And
even
4.
do multiple per week almost.
But remember, we were going to try to focus on one meet per week.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the doubling up, I mean, look how long we went
Yeah.
today.
I'm only saying that strictly out of just
Yeah.
greed because I'm so excited.
No, when we first started last year, that was my way I thought about it. I was like, oh, we can do like 3 a week. I mean, the way we watch stuff, it's just the work of the podcast. You want to like give good notes, good feedback, not rush through anything.
You're right.
We don't have to decide today. This is the cool thing. We got a few weeks on this thing. Listener, you need to check out this DC rewatch screen that we've been sharing. It's on every episode, our last 2 episodes. Tell us if you have a preference, but we're going to start bucketing these movies for the DC rewatch.
I vote Superman 1, 2, 3, 4 first things.
You got my vote.
That's fine.
There it is, done.
Never seen any of them.
All right, mark your calendars. It'd be at least a month.
I'm going to be in Mike's shoes for a lot of this because I probably haven't seen a lot of these movies.
And then we've already done Batman 89
Yep.
and Returns.
So
We'd have to lump Forever and Robin together, Batman and Robin.
we get those done, and we're already starting
Or
to
we
build out
could do-
mostlysuperheroes.com/DC.
Yeah, so we could do Batman 66 and then Batman Forever and then Batman and Robin since they're all kind of gimmicky
Yeah.
and quirky.
All right, so start with Superman, then do those Batmans, and just kind of go from there.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to be bouncing around all the lists. Don't worry. We're going old and new. We're going to mix and match.
I love it.
And we got Swamp Thing.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget about the return of Swamp Thing.
Yes.
And then Invincible, of course. We just said this, few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I'd say, plan on kind of safely. I think most of the people out there that want to hear this have already watched it,
Yes.
but just know that we'll be talking about it shortly. And then it does return this Friday. I promise. I'm not going to let you guys down. Logan's Letter will be back.
Better than ever.
Better than ever. You think this apology was big? It'll be even bigger there. I'll be feeling like extra bad the day of. But check it out. Subscribe to us on Patreon. You can go to mostlysuperheroes.com/Patreon. You can also just subscribe to the newsletter. New episodes on Thursday, early on Wednesday. The music show every Tuesday on Spotify. And then last week's episode today, every Monday at noon on Instagram, we had a bunch of new people in the Instagram today watching for the very first time.
Nice.
So we got people in there chatting, saying hello.
Saw that.
Giggler, I feel like is always there. I love it. Me and Andy are just in there usually just watching again.
What's up? What's up, squad?
What's up, squad? What you watching on Sunday, fan mail on Saturday? It's all happening at mostlysuperheroes.com. Another one.
21.
That's 21 for season 2, and we're in 2021 here.
It's crazy.
Crazy, having fun, doing a lot, lots of TV. I feel the overwhelmingness of the amount of things that exist. You talk about putting together a list of streaming services and titles. You asked for it. You're like, how do we find out where all these things live? It's like, it's almost getting to the point where you really got to be choosy.
Mm-hmm.
And you really need a good podcast to help you navigate through all of the garbage out there so that you can watch the gold nuggets.
I know one of those.
At least one. We do it. Jock and Nerd, they do a good job. They keep me on track. They'll bring attention to things. They're doing all right, but we hope you guys are enjoying it. PC Mike, what'd you have fun most talking about today?
I think I don't know. I like completing things, and we're almost done with the whole Marvel universe so far. And I think that feels good because you look back at it. Heck, you've been doing this a lot longer than me and Andy.
Not that much longer, guys. You guys came in pretty early in season 1, but I hear you.
But it's
though.
crazy, all the movies and stuff that we have watched for this, and it's almost done, or caught. We shouldn't say done. Caught up.
It never won, hopefully.
And that's what's really crazy is knowing that, like you said, we look back on our library, and from here on out, we have everything done. Oh man, big MCU fans are probably just like been wanting to strangle me. I just remembered I forgot a movie. Do you guys know what it is? Do you? The Incredible Hulk.
Oh yeah, you have this on Twitter though, so
We
you
gotta
can't
go
give-
back.
We have to go back, and you know what's really funny? That's like the first one.
One of the first ones,
2003.
Like technically, I guess it's the second one because I think Iron Man.
Oh, wasn't there a 2003 Hulk too?
Yeah,
with Eric Bana.
Eric Bana.
Is that one count or no?
No,
See, here's what's really crazy though. It doesn't count. It's not MCU canon, I believe. I mean, if you're a diehard fan and I'm misspeaking, let me know. But like the story that comes after is a sequel. Like I mean, it's a sequel. Like you watch it, it's a sequel. But then it's Edward Norton, and then they like obviously did a whole nother formula because that Bana movie is bad.
You've watched that though recently.
The Bana one, yes.
How do we find the other one? Is it on Disney Plus?
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh,
I
it is now?
believe.
I couldn't find it when I had to do my
Okay.
rewatch.
Oh man, we're gonna have to check. He's saying he
See.
couldn't find it.
Let me. I'll look it up.
Let's just look right now. We got the Disney Plus app on our phone, but we have to watch it because it is MCU. I mean, there's a big end credit scene that ties it right in. Sorry guys, one more to go. But all to your point, we got this thing wrapping up very shortly.
Yeah.
So 3 movies to go, filling up the library. We're gonna have DC stuff coming in.
It's like nowhere free. The Incredible Hulk, right? Yeah, Edward Norton. It's like
Here's the good news: I own it digitally. So
you have to rent it. Basically, that's why I didn't watch it on my rewatch.
can you lend out digital copies of stuff? That's like the one thing they don't like let people do. You can't lend it out.
You'd have to get like your login or something.
Okay, we'll check though. There's no way we're skipping it. We are watching it. There's no question here. The Incredible Hulk will make its way in there. But either way, we have a lot more coming. Giggler, how about you, man? What are you most excited for coming up? We have a lot of things on the slate.
I loved talking about the MCU future, especially just kind of now since I'm reading about the past. So I'm ready to go home and watch more of this TV that you're talking about. All the above. Below Deck Monday, just like every Monday. And then Mike agrees. And read about this history and finish this book, and I'll report back to you guys and let you guys borrow it.
Yeah, we're getting ourselves more informed. We're actually getting into the novels like we promised.
Yeah.
I can't wait to borrow this thing from you. I mean, I'm just flat out jealous of the stories you're talking about reading. It sounds really, really, really fun.
I can't wait to open it again.
All right. Well, we'll keep it going. PC Mike, the Giggler, another week done. I'm Logan. Come back and see us. New episodes every Thursday. We do it for you guys, the best squad, the best fan group. It's all happening at mostlysuperheroes.com. We'll see you next week. Take it easy.